today I'm going to show you everything. All the systems that I used and how I made $14,000 in my previous agency in just 2 weeks, and how I'm making even more in my new agency, which I'll get into another video. But for now, we're going to check on how I did it and the systems I'm using right now in the new agency. Well, we're going to start off with what is an AI business in 2025 and how you can capitalize on this. So to get going into really easy, obviously we have a bunch of different AI models that you can use and a bunch of different business models. So in reality, making AI content, which as you guys can see is very popular right now. This is not what we're doing. We're not doing AI content. Another very popular one is selling AI to retail stores or restaurants, something like that. I'm sure you guys seen videos on Instagram of people going into stores and offering chatbots and stuff like that. This is really more like chatbot backend stuff. It works, but it's just very high intensity, a lot of work to get going, and you need a lot of volume. Obviously, and then you have SaaS business or SMMA, where you just do, marketing, which the beautiful thing about that kind of combines with what we're doing. So we're doing an automated AI agency, which is pretty much a combination of both, and you use AI in order to fulfill for your clients. So where a normal marketing agency or SMMA just does ads, what an automated AI agency is going to do is actually simply combine that and add AI into the mix to go ahead and actually follow up with leads. And what it's actually going to do is book appointments for your clients with the AI system. So this is where you can start charging a lot of money, because you're not charging, a couple grand just to run ads, or, you're charging 10K to run ads and get people qualified appointments or any type of business that they're looking for. Now, why is this happening right now, and why is 2025 the gold rush year for AI? And it's only going to get even better from here, guys. So obviously, we can see that there's a bunch of sources here that I pulled that AI in business is just booming. And as you can see, if you pay attention to the news and you're not living under a rock, AI is going to completely take over a bunch of jobs, and it's already taking over when it comes to all these big companies cutting jobs and using AI, especially for coding. So it's really, really imperative right now that you can capitalize on this. You don't need any degree, you don't need any marketing skills or sales skills, as a matter of fact. I really didn't have too many marketing skills when I got into this. I had more sales skills, and I was able to make a buttload of money. So obviously we have Sora AI, which the new Sora 2.0, I will be touching on Sora 2.0 here later in the video on how you can use it and capitalize. I know some friends that are capitalizing on it right now in other businesses, and it's insane. We can also capitalize on it with our AI agencies. So what is the main goal of this, and how you just need to think about this system and this model in order to actually make money? So we're using AI to help local businesses. At the end of the day, that's what this is. There are a bunch of different options when it comes to picking a niche and who to sell to and how to sell it. So I'm going to start with the easiest one, which is actually going to be your real estate, dental, car detailers, your kind of home service ones, roofers, HVAC. This is very popular. I think you guys heard this 100 times already from me in this channel and a bunch of other people. But this is very popular. This is what 90% of people are hitting, just because it's easy, right? I mean, it's very easy to get into. There's millions of real estate agents. There's millions of dental clinics. There's millions of car detailing companies. HVAC and roofers, they're all over the place. There's in multiple cities you can find 20 or 30 of them, whatever it may be, right? And real estate agents don't even get me started. Every other person is a real estate agent. So you have millions of people to hit in these areas. That's why they're so popular, and at the same time they're easy. But you're going to be having a shitload of competition. There's going to be people who are going to be doing it already. A lot of people, a lot of good people, a lot of bad people doing it. For example, in real estate, my first one of the reasons I went away from this niche is because it was just so high in competition, and there was already big players in the game for this niche, like everything, right? At the same time, because it was so oversaturated, you're competing with 3 or 4 other people at the same time. So you get on calls and it's their third or fourth call, and it becomes a lot harder to actually sell people on it. Not only that, but real estate agents are very stingy, and they've gotten burned a lot with marketing agencies and things like that. So it's hard for them to distinguish, what's actually good and what's not. So that's why I kind of got out of it. Yes, I made my money. I had a point where in 2 weeks I made that $14,000, $15,000. And then from there, it was just very difficult also when it comes to fulfillment for real estate agents. And I'll touch on fulfillment as well. So middle tier, we have stuff like your lawyers, accounting, business to business, and SaaS. So obviously you can hit these types of people. Here you can start charging a little bit more money. With real estate, you can charge a lot of money, right? I mean, if someone sells a house, it can be anywhere from 5K, 10K. They can make commission all the way up to 30, 40, 50, even more, depending on the price of the house. Obviously, dental and car detailing is going to be a little different. With dental, you're going to have, depending on the location, the dental clinic, and what they do, and then car detailing is going to be a low ticket. I always recommend you go for something more in the middle or the hard side of it, because honestly, guys, getting into something that's low ticket, I don't recommend. You're going to have to be charging a lot lower for your service, and they're not going to have all that money. So when you present your service for $3,000, $5,000, $10,000, they're going to bark at that. On the other hand, if you're on one of these, right, let's say the middle tier, lawyers make bank, accounting also, business to business, it's bigger numbers. So they're not charging somebody $200 or $300 to clean their car. They're not charging somebody $500 for a dental visit or $200, right? They're charging a lot of money. The only exception, the easy one, is real estate, but it's a very saturated niche. You can do it, but maybe just to get some experience. So that's the middle tier, and then we have the hard one, which is what I'm actually kind of working on now, and I'll touch into what I'm working on in another video, and all the different agencies I'll be starting. But the hard agencies are really good. Obviously, if it's your first time doing it, maybe get into an easier one, and you can get scaled to 10 to 15, $20,000 a month, and then start getting into these, because you're gonna need some experience. There's going to be stuff like your marketing agencies, online coaches, and info products. These are a lot harder. And honestly, guys, it's worth it if you know what you're doing. I'm getting into one right now. The niche I got into, I don't know anything, like zero. I was a real estate agent in the past. I've said this many times on the channel. That's why I did the real estate niche, and it helped. I could hop on the sales calls with these people and talk their lingo and all that. And that's why I recommend, if you have experience in one, you should go with that one as your first niche. And you can always switch. There's no problem with switching niches, right? You're not switching, from AI agency to doing something else like drop shipping, right? That's not a problem, just so you can get to know what you're doing. So when it comes to actually picking your niche, the hard one is going to be your second or third one. You can get into it if you have a business partner who knows it. That's totally okay as well. Here you're going to make more money, right? These people, online coaches right now, are very popular. People are charging anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000 for online coaching programs. You can get them those leads and charge your in-between commission. Marketing agencies, same thing. You can do your thing for marketing agencies and info products. So a lot of opportunity, guys. You don't have to be stuck to one. You can start an easy one and then get into the harder one. So let's get into the good stuff, right? Most of you probably already know that. How do we generate leads? And what I'm doing right now, generate leads for my new niche, and what I did to generate in my old agency. So let's start off on the left side here with organic. This one's slept on, very slept on. Nobody does organic. And from what I see everybody else doing, they're just either doing cold outreach or Facebook ads. I like to combine organic with cold outreach. Let me tell you how I do it. This is exactly how I'm doing it right now. Killing it with this new system that I'm doing it right now. This is going to be, I haven't told anybody this. You guys are the first ones. What I do and what I'm doing with my business partner right now is we give value first. So we do long format videos. We give 5 to 10 minute training videos 2 times per week. And this is for our niche. So if you're doing real estate agents, you give out 5-minute, 10-minute video on how to improve your sales pipeline, or whatever it may be, how to do better at your sales skills presentation when you go on a listing appointment, stuff like that. What I'm doing right now is Instagram Reels and Shorts. I use igleads.io to go ahead and get all the people I need to talk to, although that's for cold outreach. I'm combining warm plus cold outreach. So what I do is I boost my Instagram Reels, make really good high quality Reels, post 1 a day at least. And then from there, you use your hashtags for your niche or in your area if you're doing service-based business. And then easy, right? Easy. From here, you're going to start getting people liking. You're going to get, let's say, real estate. You target real estate in your area. So you're Miami real estate agent. You're going to start getting, oh shit, I'm getting 5 or 10 likes a day from real estate agents in my area. There you go. That's no longer a cold lead. They've interacted with you first. You didn't reach out to them. They kind of reach out to you. So that's what I'm saying. It's a warm. From there, you're going to DM them with, a script, or just text them, start a conversation. Or what I like to do is send them a free program or a free trial, or like a quick document with a VSL and a booking page if they like what they see. And that way they feel like they're winning, and you can get into conversation with them and see if they might be a good fit. Obviously, this is really, really good. I've been doing it in the last few weeks and it's been working very well. So it's a combination of cold and warm outreach, and you're not paying hundreds of dollars on ads. Maybe you're paying $20 to boost one reel over 7 days. And that should be enough to get you some cold outreach / warm outreach, in my opinion. So this is a slept on tactic. I haven't seen anybody else do that. Facebook ads. This is where we get most of our money from, obviously, until you're going to pick up on organic. This takes a minute to pick up on. Obviously, Facebook ads in the meantime, you're going to want to use ChatGPT and Sora. This is where I'm talking about Sora. With ChatGPT, you can use this to make your static ads. You don't need anything fancy here, guys. With anywhere from $15 to $20 per ad, even $10 if you have a couple running, I'd say with $30 a day, you can easily start printing a bunch of money. We're only doing $30 a day right now with our agency on one ad, and that's all we need. We find one winning ad, We use ChatGPT. You go on ChatGPT, you make your creative for your niche, whether it be a real estate agent holding keys or whatever. By the way, I coined that. And then you just go ahead and put your text at the top with your guarantee, which I will get into later. From there, I recommend you start with static ads because static ads are going to be a lot cheaper and you're going to get a lot more leads. Obviously, it might not be the highest quality, but when you're starting out, this is going to be the most important thing. So get on ChatGPT. If you want to make a video ad, you can get on Sora and you can start using all these AI tools to make it. If you don't even want to do ChatGPT, literally what always works is you take your offer, let's say 10 listing appointments in 90 days for a real estate agent, and you're just going to go on Canva, free Canva, by the way, and you're going to put real estate agents, get 10 listing appointments in 90 days, or you don't pay. That's it. Literally, you boost it 15, 20 bucks a day. You should be getting leads from that for you to start getting busy. You don't need much. So obviously, AI ads with Arc Ads is very popular right now, or Sora AI. Either or works. Arc Ads is going to give you those actors that look real. I'm sure you guys seen them all over the place. It's getting kind of overused, to be honest, at this point. I don't use it anymore, but I did at one point use it and it worked. So if you want to try it out, is what we used to use as well for my old agency. I'm using Sora and ChatGPT now. I'm not using Arc Ads, but depending on your niche and your area, you can try out Arc Ads. It's $10 a video and you can post it and get some results from it. I've seen some agency owners, some friends who do, kill it with Arc Ads. You do you, man. Got to try everything. So then we have cold outreach, LinkedIn, Instagram. The cold outreach, I'm not a big fan of. Just be 100% honest with you guys. With cold outreach, that's why I like combining this with the warm organic. If you can combine both, how I just said, you're going to be killing it because it's not technically cold anymore. These people are looking for your videos because you're giving free value. With cold outreach, you can do, a bunch of email blasts or a bunch of Instagram, blasts with the Instagram IO. But at the same time, if you have time on your hands, go ahead and do it. But I highly recommend, if you have free time, instead of doing this, I would just focus on organic content and free value. And then from there, you're going to get your leads. So let's get into the offer. So how to, structure your offer and make sure that everything actually works and you're actually getting leads through the door. So your offer, it can be anything. Like I said, 10 listing appointments in 90 days for real estate agents. It can be, roofers get 10 clients in the next 60 days or you don't pay, whatever. It really is niche dependent. And it's, for the most part, you're going to hear something like that, right? So a time guarantee with a amount of appointments or bookings for whatever niche it is. That's usually how it goes. There is pay-per-close offer as well, which you can say, only pay when you close, which does work to get people through the door, but at the same time, not beneficial for us because you're going to be having to do all this upfront work without any payment. And most of the time, you'll never get paid. I'll touch more on the pay-per-close offer here, but for now, very easy. So you funnel people from all these types of organic or paid ads or cold outreach, and they're going to land on your offer page, which in this case, I highly recommend use Go High Level for everything. High Level, you're just going to simply go on there. They have templates. You simply put your template and you put, all you're going to ask for is their information. So you're going to go something like this, very easy. You're going to put on the top, you're going to put your offer. So whether, let's say real estate agents is a very easy one to use. Real estate agents get 10 listing appointments in 90 days where you don't pay. Put your info here and they get instant access. Once they put this info, they're not booking. They're simply opting into your page. You can have a booking page if you do it right. But once they do this, you're going to want to go ahead and, treat them as a warm lead. Call them, text them, do your manual outreach. It's really good. This is a good way to get started if you're doing more cold approach. So you can do this. I don't have a problem with that, but I recommend you do this with a booking page. So you put the booking calendar on top. You say 10 listing appointments in 90 days, book right now. They put their info up here and they get access and they also book at the same time. So obviously the whole goal of this is to book a call with you. If they don't and they only leave you your info, you're going to follow up with them until you get them onto a sales call. Okay, this is where it gets really good, guys. So obviously I'm going to go ahead and talk to you guys about everything else in the retainer, but what we're going to do right now is focus on sales calls. So once you do all your front end work, you're going to go and Go High Level, make that page very, very easy to do, something like this, and a booking page. That's it, just your calendar, link it. People go ahead and book a call. If they don't, you're going to follow up with them. You can easily set up automations as well in High Level. Just sit down for a few hours. It might take you a little bit, but you make your automations. You can easily use Claude AI or ChatGPT. I recommend Claude AI when it comes to doing that stuff. And you ask Claude for all the type of follow-ups. You hit them every couple hours, and then after a day of every couple hours, maybe every other day until they get cold, or book a call, right? So that's pretty much how it works. That's how we do it, right? We have automated things. We use Claude AI. We ask Claude for all those types of text in automated emails. From there, obviously, we have sales calls, right? The whole point of this is to get them on a sales call and to make sure that you can show them that your product has a value. So once you're on the sales call, it's something I have really not talked too much about. You're going to want to find out and go into the discovery phase pretty deep here. So you're going to find out if they're the right fit for you, what their time frame is, and why they booked the call, and what they're looking for. At the end of the day, you don't want to sign up anybody, even if they only have 500 bucks. Sometimes no business is better than bad business. Actually, all the time. Bad business is always going to be bad business. It's going to be bad for you. So in the discovery phase, people always skip on discovery phase. Guys, the discovery phase is, in my opinion, just the most important part of the call. The pitch and actual, pricing and everything I'll get into here in a bit doesn't matter as much as your discovery. On my sales calls, right now I have a closer, so I kind of hopped off the sales calls. But when I was doing the sales calls, I would take, on my closed deals, I would look back on my Fathom note taker, and my sales calls were, an hour long when I closed them, an hour and a half, and the discovery phase was literally 45 minutes. I would drop the price almost an hour in, and by that time they just say yes, or they have one little objection that's very, very easy to overcome, and then from there you're just going to go ahead and close them, right? So discovery, very important. You ask questions, you ask all the right questions, discover what they're doing, and pain points, right, guys? You have to discover pain, because if you get into it and drop a price in 5 to 10 minutes, they're going to give you an objection that you can't handle because you didn't figure out what their actual pain point is. And if you don't know their pain points, they're going to say whatever bullshit just to get off the call, and you don't know what to ask and how to actually objection handle that. Okay. So your pitch, you're going to use a Google Docs slideshow, very easy, 5 to 10, slideshow presentation. You don't want to do something like 20 or 30. Nobody's going to sit through that. You're not presenting, right? At the end of the day, you're just trying to help them, make it seem as if you're helping. I don't even use a Google Doc anymore for our pitches. I just talk and that's it. I did at one point and it worked. I closed a few clients. So if you want to have like a 5-page, showing your 3 things that you do, so a couple pages to show. For example, we do the ads plus the leads plus AI caller, and then a couple other ones to show pricing. So that's what I would do. I would just get 3 to 4 showing what we do. We're going to go ahead and sell the whole brick. So that's very important. You want to also be clear that you're selling the entire bridge to your customer and this potential client. You're not just selling them ads or just an AI receptionist. You're selling everything from A to Z. So you tell them, hey, look, you don't have to lift a finger. Most other people are going to give you this lead and say, hey, good luck, Jeff, call 100 people a day. We're going to build out the ads for you using all the stuff I mentioned earlier. You can use it for them as well. Plus, we're going to capture those leads, and then from there, turn them into an AI caller. And that's it. And then from there, we're going to go ahead and get into what type of offer are we going to go and put them on. There's 2 real main offers that, you can do. Pay per close, which never do. Pay per close is something that you can use not really as a bait and switch because that's illegal. But what you want to do is you can even offer it on your ads. And then once you get into it, you can do it something like this. So here's what I would do when I was doing pay per close on real estate. I would say real estate agents, pay per close only. Once they get on there, obviously we're going to want to take some type of money up front because it costs money to build the whole system, guys. So you don't want to be paying $1,000, $1,500 to build out your system, collect no money, and then they just ghost you. So you want to collect at least $1,000 to $1,500, and then you tell them, look, we'll collect the rest of the amount in 30 days or in 60 days. And then after you start closing, we'll take 20% or 30%. That way, at least you cover your expenses. But I don't recommend this. You can do it at the end of the day if they really want to. At least you'll be making some money and covering your bases. The retainer model is where most of your money is going to be made. You can charge anywhere from $1,500, like I said, all the way up to $10,000, $15,000, depending on your niche. I think the $5,000 mark is a good starting point. You can even go as low as $3,500. I'm going to talk to you guys about finding developer and running ads for your customers and doing all that stuff because it's something that's not really talked about. And I know a lot of you have the questions on it. So what I do is I offer a retainer model. Here's pretty much what I do. I go, it's a $5,000 program. We have 2 options, either paid in full or 2 payments of $2,500. The next one comes out in 30 days and up to you. If they don't have that, we do offer through Klarna Afterpay financing if they get approved for it. So that's really it. And if they say, "Oh, Franco, I only have $1,000. I only have $1,500," I usually say no to those people because it's happened to where I say yes, and guess what? They come back and they don't pay the rest of it. And I just dished out XYZ amount, $1,000 for a developer, and you know, screwed. So if somebody says, Franco, I have $1,000, I'll be like, okay, I'll take your $1,000. I'll lock you in. So get this, guys. If someone says I only have 1,000, you say, okay, give me your 1,000. I'll lock you in because we have a limited amount of spots. And then in 15 days or whenever you have that remaining amount, or maybe you have 2,500 bucks to give me later, go ahead and give it to me, and then I'll pay. I'll get going for you. Don't tell them you'll pay for a developer once you get that, but you want to tell them I'll collect that 1,000 to secure your spot, non-refundable. And once I collect the remaining amount or half at least, you're gonna go ahead and pay for your developer and get the ads going and kick everything off. So that way, you don't just collect 1,000, pay 1,000 to the developer or whatever it costs you, and then you're left with nothing if they don't pay. So that's what I learned, and it works pretty well. Let's talk about delivery and fulfillment. So delivery and fulfillment for your customer is something that is very difficult. I'm not gonna lie, something that if you don't have it right now, if you don't even have an agency or maybe you don't even have a client yet, I wouldn't worry about it. It's something that it's kind of like worrying about what exercise you're going to do at the gym, but never go to the gym, if that makes any sense. There's no point. Every niche is different. That's why I left the real estate niche, because it was hard to fulfill for these guys. These real estate agents expect results within the next 30 days and want to get a listing appointment, or maybe want to get a listing. And people don't move that fast in real estate. Newsflash, right now, the economy isn't that good. Not only that, but people, when they book, they take forever to make a move. A big move like that, sometimes it's like the biggest move people make in their lives. So, it's going to take a little longer. So, let's say you're maybe doing business to business or med spas or something that's a little bit quicker. All you're gonna do for delivery and fulfillment, use the exact same method I use for your agency. Use Sora, use ChatGPT, use Canva, and of course use this other one up here that I showed you guys earlier, ArcAds, to make videos for them and run those ads. The best thing you can do is look at your competition, see what they're running, and you can easily not copy it word for word, but take some hints from that, and whatever's working, go ahead and run it for their lead gen. Hook them up to Go High Level with the Facebook ads, and you're going to go ahead and fulfill for them. It's very easy, guys. You just set up their Go High Level, link a Facebook form onto the ad, and then from there, the AI caller with the developer is going to be linked with Vappy and SynthFlow to make the call automatically. So a lot of people ask me about this. I always say don't worry about it because it's very difficult, but once you get into it, it's not that much. It's very difficult from the outside, but once you do it once or twice, fulfillment becomes a lot easier. So like I said, you find a winning ad for your client, and most of the time, once you find a winning ad, you can just replicate it for your other clients. Just change the name, change the logo, change the colors, and you're good to go. That's what we do, and it works pretty well. You have to find a winning ad, right? From there, the Facebook ad is going to capture the form. Let's say you're looking to buy a house. They say, I want to sell a house in my area, and the AI caller will call them within 1 to 2 minutes, and then Vappy and SynthFlow does a check-in and call and books the appointment. It's very easy in theory, but it is pretty difficult because you have to find a developer, you have to actually run the ads, and it is a lot at first. But like I said, once you find it, the rhythm once or twice, you're good to go. What I will say is everyone always asks me how to find a developer and how do you make the AI caller, and making the AI caller yourself is very difficult. I don't recommend it. I tried it. I wasted, I think, a whole day on it, and I would never do it again. I'd rather pay someone anywhere from $500, $800 to develop it, and that's done in a few days. You can find them on Fiverr. You can find, I have a personal guy that does it for me, but you can easily go on Fiverr and find marketing agencies and even find, coders and people that do this. If you go on Fiverr and look out for AI build outs, you'll find it, guys. Okay. So that's how I find, sometimes if my developer's very busy, go on Fiverr and you can find one there. Obviously, do your research and make sure it's the right guy. After that, it's very easy. The main thing with this business is actually fulfilling. There's some people that don't fulfill, or they don't know how to fulfill, and they might take the money up front and never give it back. But at the end of the day, guys, just imagine this: if you are doing $1,500 a month in fulfillment, in a subscription model, let's say they pay you $5,000 for 3 months, and then you have 10 people paying you $1,500, or let's say 1,000, right? Let's say you have 10 people paying you $1,000 a month. That's $10,000, and you don't do shit. You don't have to do anything, because once you set this all up, it's done. Like, you probably have a few bucks in expenses you have to pay for Vappy, SynthFlow, and everything else. Let's say $10, right? 10, $20. The Go High Level, that's it. You're paying your $300 in Go High Level for your sub accounts, and you're done. Like, let's say you have 10 people paying you $1,000 because you're actually good at your job and fulfilling. You're making 10K a month, passive income at this point. Imagine 20, imagine 30. And then from there, people are going to start recommending you to their friends and to a bunch of other agents or a bunch of other sales workers, and you're going to get easy money without even having to hop on sales calls. So that's really the bread and butter of this business. Once you have them, you can do one-on-one check-in calls with them, add them to a Slack group chat or a WhatsApp group chat, whatever you prefer. From there, you want to be in contact, listen to any complaints, be an actual professional business person, treat this like a professional business, and go from there. Obviously, um, and do the onboarding, right? Do the onboarding is very easy. You just have to connect their Facebook and everything, and then you're good to go. So that's pretty much it, guys. How this whole system, I just show you everything from A to Z on how the system works. This is the same system that I use. Literally, everything I just showed you is what I used to make $14,000 in a 2 week period on my first agency, and now even more in my new one, which I'll show you guys what I'm doing and the numbers for this one. It's insane. But this is what I used for the first one, and it works. It's proven to work, and it's what I'm doing again, even better. I added the organic, which, by the way, the organic stuff I was doing with organic outreach and Instagram mixed with cold outreach, I wasn't doing before. Now I am, and it's working very well. So I highly recommend you guys do that if you have an AI agency or trying to set it up. You don't need much to get this going. So I hope you guys learned a lot from this video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments, and I hope to hear from you soon.